joining here with tonight for our Winter Warmers cooking class. My name is Emma. I am a team leader down in Bass Coast, but have quite a bit of a team here, there and everywhere. We've got girls in the Yarra Valley, Bass Coast, over near Warragul, and we're in Dalston. So tonight is designed to show you a little bit more about the Thermomix, whether you have one or not, whether you're looking at getting one, whether you're just here for host rewards. There are plenty of things that you'll get out of tonight. I'd love it if you could pop in the chat what was the last thing that you cooked. Thermomix doesn't matter. Just pop it in the chat and know what was that you cooked. Tonight we have roast lamb, absolutely delicious. So a little bit before we get started on cooking, Play-Doh, gnocchi, yum. Love seeing all these ideas come through. I need to make Play-Doh with my kids. So we have a few things happening at the moment in the world of Thermomix. One of them is our cutter. So I have that here tonight. I will be showing you that shortly. But we have that available as a gift with purchase when you purchase your Thermomix. It is also available as a host reward when you have a demonstration with your consultant and 2 guests. They need to be from 2 separate households, but you only need 2. We also have 48 months interest free, which makes the Thermomix about $2 a day. You'll hear more about that from Santana shortly. We have Earn For. I will be jumping or staying on at the end and running a business information session. So if you'd like to find out more about what we do, then please stay on and I'll go through all of that at the end. We also have some Cookie-Doo changes and we'll run through some of that as well. And we have TM31 upgrade. So if you are a TM31 owner or know somebody who is, then please let us know because we can run through some of that information too. Before we get started, I might get the girls to go around and introduce themselves. I'm going to spotlight. Actually, I won't spotlight them just yet. I'll just get them to jump off mute and introduce themselves, and then we'll start cooking. Lou, I can see you top of my screen. Do you want to go first?
Hi. Yeah, am I working?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hi, everybody. Welcome. My name's Louise. I'm Thermo Love with Lou, based in Conwack. Yeah, welcome to our class.
Thanks, Lou. Ange?
Hello, everyone. My name's Ange. I'm from Mixing with Ange, so I'm based in Wonthaggi. I've been a Thermomix consultant for about 3.5 years now. So,
awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks, Ange. Eliza?
Hey, my name is Eliza. I'm Eliza Thermo Mum and I'm based in Leongatha as a consultant.
Thanks, Eliza. And Santana?
Am I still muted?
No, we can hear.
No. Hello, my name is Santana Savage. Some people know me as Bessie. That's what I'm known as locally. I'm a Thermomix consultant for just over a year now. And my Instagram page for inspo and connection is The Savage's Life.
Thanks, Santana. I will share all of our social pages in an email when I follow up at the end as well. We do also have some of the other consultants joining us. They won't be cooking tonight, but they are in the chat box helping you with any questions. So we have Leah, we have Crystal, and we have Taylor. So thank you everyone for jumping on and for the support this night tonight. I'm going to get started. So tonight I'm making a potato bake. I'm going to be using the cutter. So if you have got a cutter, pop that in the comments. If you don't, pop that in the comments and let us know if you want one because we can help you to get one as well. The recipe that I will be using tonight is a created recipe. I have created this myself, so I will also attach all the recipes from tonight into the email. I have added it into my week so that I know what we're having and when. If you're not using Cookie-Doo to its fullest potential, I also have a Cookie-Doo class running on the 20th of October, getting ahead of myself, 20th of August. I will also send the information to that in an email afterwards. So it does look a little bit different when we are using a recipe that is not a guided recipe. Well, it is guided, but it's been created ourselves. I'm going to just jump into this recipe and we're going to start grating some cheese. So with the cutter, it is already assembled, but we have a shaft that fits in the bottom of the bowl just around the blade. And then we have our bowl that sits inside there. This is our blade. It is double-sided. So we have the slicing or slate for slicing and grey for grating. Because I'm going to be grating cheese, I'm going to use the grey side up. And that just connects into there and sits like so. I've got my cheese here. One of the things to remember when using the cutter is that it needs to fit through these holes. So these holes at the top are where the food needs to go in. So I've got my cheese here, and I'm just going to step out of this recipe and come across to my functions and find the grating. So grating is down the bottom here. Tonight I'm going to do a little bit thick and a little bit thin to show you guys the difference. So we'll start with thin. When you're doing something like cheese, make sure it's quite cold. I'm not sure if you could tell through seeing that, but I wasn't actually putting much pressure on, just kind of holding that pusher there and letting the cheese be guided down into the bottom of that. So there we have our grated cheese thin. And I'll also do a block thick. If anyone is currently buying grated cheese, I really recommend having a look at the ingredients on the pack. Being able to grate it yourself takes out all of those nasties. I also challenge you to have a look at the price of the difference between a block of cheese and a pack of grated cheese. Just going to turn that to thick now and let that do its thing. Who is buying cheese already? There we have our thick grated cheese. So this is, Renee, I'm going to smack you. This is perfect for grating. It might be for salads. It might be just maybe a zucchini slice or something like that. But that is our cheese done. I do have another block here, but I'm just going to leave that. I won't worry about cutting that. I think that's more than enough for the top of our potato bake. Just going to pop that into a bowl. This is really good also for Parmesan, better for hard cheeses than soft cheeses. If they're the mozzarella, we have tried it. It just doesn't seem to work very well. So I'm going to put my cutter back in now, and I'm going to start out of grating, and I'm going to go over to slicing. I'm also going to turn my blade around the other way because we're slicing now instead of grating. And I'm just going to grab my spuds. So with your spuds, obviously they need to fit through the hole. These are the potatoes that we have here, just from the shops. You can either choose your own and just make sure that they are small and that they fit in, or you can get the bigger ones and then cut off the sides. So again, we're going for slicing. I will do thick because we are doing a potato bake. The thin is quite thin. So the difference is that the thin is 2 mil and the thick is 4 mil. I'm going to go with thick, and I'll put those potatoes in as it goes. Okay, so that was 6 potatoes. Admittedly, they weren't huge, but that was 6 potatoes, and it was probably maybe 30 seconds. How is everyone currently slicing their potatoes for things like potato bake? You can see that that is all beautifully sliced. Each piece is uniform, so they're all the same. I don't bother peeling mine when I do it for potato bake, but you are more than welcome to. We also have the blade cover peeler too. So if I wanted to peel it, I would pop the blade cover peeler in and do that first. So these are going to go into my varoma. I will do that in a moment. But before I do that, I want to show you the sauce component of the potato bake. I'm going to take out the cutter and jump back into my recipe. Sorry, the cutter shaft. This, if you leave it in, it will blitz up and you'll end up with cutter all through your dish. So with this recipe, we're going to cut up our onion and garlic. Oh, sorry, so hard working backwards. I'm so used to being in front of it. So we've done the cheese, we've done the potatoes. It tells me now to cook them. I will do that once I hand over to the next girls. So we're going to pop in our garlic. And I have a lid here. We're going to chop that. So that's preset here for 3 seconds on speed 7. Bruce cutting garlic. Not me. And we're also going to add in I'll show you that. That was 3 seconds on speed 7. And now we're going to add in our bacon. So I have just cut up my bacon into half. And I've also got my onion, which I have also just cut in half. So I've got a full onion cut in half. Pop the lid on. Those that need to follow a recipe, it is all on screen. I'm just really good at winging things because I've done it plenty of times. This is 3 seconds speed 5. Just going to grab a spoon. And that will be chopped. That has chopped that beautifully now. I'm just going to scrape down the side, depending on how fatty
I'm trying to find the.
as to whether or not you add in any oil. With the bacon, I'm not going to worry about adding any oil in there, but I'm going to take myself out of there next. And we're going to cook that for 3 minutes, 120 degrees, and we're going on speed just stir. So speed stir is the spoon. And while that is cooking, I'm going to assemble my potatoes into my Varoma to steam them. I do have another Thermomix that I will be steaming them in, and I'll come back and do the cream. We're going to hand over to Ange now, who's going to make a start on the sticky.
Hello, everyone. So tonight I am making sticky date pudding. So this is a recipe that my husband Craig has always made for us. He's always made it for us in the microwave. And what I've done is converted the recipe to Thermomix method and popped it into my created recipes on Cookiedoo. So I'm just going into my recipes and clicking on my created recipes. So the created recipes are the recipes that you are either creating yourself and adding to your Cookiedoo, or ones that you are transferring across from the recipe community onto your Cookiedoo. And it doesn't want to wake up. Here we go. So the first part that I'm doing is just making the sauce. So I'm just going to press on start cooking. All right. All right, so you can see, if you can see my screen, you can see it does look a little bit different to your usual recipe on Cookiedoo. But what we've got here is all of the ingredients, and I've edited it so that everything comes up that I need. So I'm just going to click on my scales. You can either access the scales by pushing the little scale icon down the bottom or clicking on the ingredient that's underlined. So I'm going in with 70 grams of butter and 100 grams of brown sugar, and just pushing on tear, and then 100 mils of cream. All right, and then this is just going to cook now for 5 minutes on 80 degrees and around to speed 4. So while that's cooking, I think we'll be going back to Emmy, and then we'll come back.
Thanks, Ange. That was super quick and easy. We're going to jump over to Santana. She'll start on her soup, and then we'll come back to me for the rest of mine.
Hello, everyone. It was really bad timing because my Thermomix just decided to turn off. One of the perks of the Thermomix, it only stays on for, I'm sure it's 15 minutes. Someone can correct me if that's wrong. Anyway, so while that turns on, I've just got some of my ingredients and everything ready. I'll be making pumpkin soup today, so it will be the Cookiedoo recipe. However, I do alter some of the ingredients. So I prefer my soup to be like more of a thick consistency, and I find the Cookiedoo one is quite runny. So I'll let you know what I've changed. But obviously that's the power and the good thing about the Thermomix is you can obviously do what you want with the recipes. It's just a guide. So I'm going to be sliding across into my Cookiedoo. Take a minute to load. Here we go. So I have saved it into my recipes and created collections for our cooking class today so that it comes up. This is the one that I like to make. Before we get started, I'll just take you down a little bit. So through here, obviously, most people might know, but I'll go through it anyway. This is a feature on the right corner here, if you can see, and it just helps change the portion size. Some recipes have that and some recipes don't have that. For this one, it offers you to serve for 2 or to serve for 4. I'm going to make it serve for 4. So we have leftovers, and then you've got your ingredients on one side, instructions on the other side. If you are starting a recipe further down and you're wanting to skip some of the recipes, instead of clicking through next, you can always just click through onto the number that you want to start at or the step that you want to start at, and it will take you in there. This obviously gives you all of your utensils, tips and tricks and variations that you need, but we're just going to start and get cooking. I've chopped up most of the things ready to start. Going to go in with a brown onion. I also always love to add garlic. Not all of the recipes tell you to add garlic, but I put garlic in everything. So there we go. Just going to do that. Let's just chop these bad boys up for 3 seconds. So that was 3 seconds without getting your hands dirty or smelly. One of my favorite features. Gonna go scrape the sides down. Some recipes, I feel like most recipes in Cookie Do will tell you to scrape the sides down of the bowl after you've done the onion and garlic and stuff. Not all of them though, so it is something to keep an eye on sometimes. Sometimes I'll say not to scrape it down. It just depends on the heat, I think, that they're going to use. Need some butter. I don't know. I haven't actually cut everything up that I needed to. Oh, that's pretty close actually. I've just cut everything up. I haven't got it exactly measured out today because I've had a very busy day. So I'm going to pop the basket on top. The photo on the side here will always demonstrate to you what you need to do in a recipe. So if you're ever confused by what it's asking you, have a look on the picture next to it. So this is just going to cook for 3 minutes. And while it's doing that, I don't know if you want to go back to anyone else, Sam, or if you want me to talk about something. You can hear me?
Thank you. We'll come back to you once you've finished that bit.
Yep.
I have just popped in cream and some stock paste. That is making sauce that will go over my potatoes once they have finished steaming in the Varoma on my other Thermomix. Perks of being a consultant. We might jump over back to Ange and see where she's at with her sticky date pudding.
It's got about 40 seconds to go, but I can stop it, so that's all right. Just waiting for that to open up. All right. So this is our sauce. I'm just going to pop it into one of our thermo jugs. This is the small size from the mix shop. If you haven't got one of these are brilliant for sauces and gravies and all of that sort of stuff. So the most delicious caramel sauce. Super easy, super quick. And that will then stay nice and warm in there until our puddings are ready a little bit after. All right, so moving on to the next step. I'm not going to worry about washing out my bowl or anything like that. I'm just going straight in with my dates. And we are just going to chop those for 8 seconds on speed 7. Let me mix this. You might have noticed then that my Thermomix was a little bit slow taking off. That's simply because the temperature of the Thermomix was still sitting up about 70 degrees. And because we were going above speed 5, it does take a little bit longer to start. Just a bit of a safety reason, safety until the Thermomix drops under 65 degrees. So, but it still did what it needed to do. So all of my dates are nicely chopped up. And now we are adding in 125 mils of water. And then this will need to sit here and cook for another 4 minutes. If you want to avoid this step, and I should have done it for tonight, but I forgot to boil my kettle if you put boiling water in, you can avoid the heating stage at this point. And I have completely stuffed that up and put way too much water in. So I'm just going to tip some of that out, and then I'm going to pop that on for 4 minutes to cook, just to soften up those dates. And then once that is done, I'll add in my bicarb soda and set the dates aside to move on to the next part of the recipe. So if you want to move on to somebody else, then you can come back to me in about 5 minutes.
Thanks, Ange, keeping it
Yep.
real.
Yeah, absolutely.
How are you, Santana, are you ready for the next part? Whereabouts are you? Are you cooked or are you still cooking?
I'm done. I just had to try and unmute myself. Sorry. I'm done. Alrighty. So always a suggestion that I have for everyone is always opening your Thermomix away from your face, because sometimes it can be really warm.
Nice
Now,
little
this hey,
free facial.
free facial sometimes, or scald, whatever you prefer, depending on how hot it is and how much you've got in there.
I'll go with it.
Yeah, exactly. It's good for you. So this step is the pumpkin. So the recipe in Cookie Do says 500 grams of pumpkin, and it will later tell me, I think it's 500 grams of water, but I'm going to do a kilo of pumpkin and halve the water. I also sometimes put in sweet potato, whatever else really that I feel like chucking in at the time, if I'm honest, whatever needs to be put in from the fridge. I'm all about experimenting. So let's see how much we got.
One of the perks of Cookie Do and being able to, it's guided, so you can change it up. You use the recipe as a guide and move with it. If you don't want to do that, skip past it.
Very much so. All right, so I'm putting in about 650 roughly grams of pumpkin, but I'm also going to do a small sweet potato and a potato as well. So 870 today. Usually I probably go up to a kilo, but that's okay. And we're popping a carrot in as well. Had a small carrot, so I just thought I would add 2. Pop the vegetable cup in. So we want to take that off. This one on. We're just going to blitz that for 15 seconds all the way to speed 7.
That's going to
Sometimes
kind of why that scene is working shopping for her. Doesn't have to do it. While that is, I'd love to know what was the last soup that you made and how did you make it? Was it an old bar mix? Was it on the stove? Was it a kind of blender? Your Thermomix. Pop it in the chat. Soup you made and how you made it.
A wonderful thing. So thank you. You have some work to do.
So that is done. Let's give you guys an idea of what that looks like. That was 15 seconds. Straight down the sides again. It already smells so good.
Imagine cutting by hand. Okay, thanks.
We'll be there for hours. I also like to just run around the lid. We've got a fair bit of butter and onion on there. Go. Yeah, so it says 500 ml of water. I'm going to do 250 or thereabouts.
Lots of people have made these pumpkins already, so it'd be interesting for them to see.
Yeah, I'd love to know if people have cottoned on to the thickness situation. I have a few customers who have said the same thing. They've made the pumpkin soup, but it was definitely too runny for them. But everyone has such different preferences. So,
Yeah.
all right, this is the vegetable stock. So this is obviously made up earlier. Something I prepared earlier that I can't ever go without anymore.
It's not an easy routine. It's so hard.
Right, so this is now going to cook for 20 minutes on 100, and it's just going to be on speed 1. So you can, do you want me to go over? I don't know if you'll be able to hear me.
I'm going to just quickly cover 48 months and then we'll go to Eliza.
Yeah, all right, sounds good. Awesome. Can you still hear me?
Yeah.
Is that, yes?
You nailed that tonight.
And there's someone else.
See
Sorry.
someone else's. Can you guys just make sure you're on mute, please, so that we can hear our consultants while they're presenting?
Enjoyed watching you. You absolutely have improved. And I
To put someone's TV maybe.
Yeah, I can.
That's all right. I'll just talk loud and hopefully everyone can still hear me. So yeah, we're just going to go over the really big deal that they've got on at the moment. So turn my camera so you can see me a little bit better. So at the moment, Thermomix are running 48 months interest free, which is the biggest interest free offer that they've ever run. So that's for 4 years. It's a really good offer at the moment, especially obviously with the cost of living and everything like that, just to help people with cash flow and those sorts of things. So just going to run over some details. The Zip Money is who run the 48-month interest-free payment option. Zip Money, when you're signing up through the Thermomix website, actually waive the sign-up fee for you. So there's a $0 sign-up fee when you use Zip Money. There's also no early leaving fee either. So if it's something that you're wanting to purchase while there's a certain deal on, or while we've got the 48-month interest-free deal on, you can always do that and then pay it off early if you want to. So there is absolutely no early exit fee. The other thing to mention with it as well is there's only a $9.95 monthly fee with Zip. So that is the only out-of-pocket cost that you have. But as I said, you can always pay it out early as well. There's no secret hidden fee of they don't calculate those up for you and charge at the end. It's literally just per month for as long as you hold your Zip Money account with them. So at the moment, the 48-month interest free, it brings it down to $2.10 a day, which is under $15 a week. So if you think about the things that you obviously purchase for yourself, like a takeaway coffee, I got a takeaway coffee today. It was $6 for a medium coffee. So that's literally 3 Thermomixes. So yeah, if you look at it like that, obviously you can relate it to anything that you need. But there's definitely things I think that even for myself, I'd be able to save to try and put money aside for Thermomix. So that's something that I think is really cool and really helpful for some people if they want to get their Thermomix on the bench. And yeah, I think that's it.
Thank you, Santana. Is that one of your dogs? I have just popped our potatoes and drizzled that cream, bacon, onion on there, as well as the cheese that we grated in our cutter. I'm going to pop that into the oven now, and we'll just check in with Ange and see where she's at with her sticky dates before we move over to Eliza with her bread. You're muted, Ange.
Sorry. So what I've done is just finished warming up those dates, and then I have just put in 1/4 teaspoon of bicarb soda and just mixed that for 3 seconds on speed 2. Now I'm just going to pop that aside, and we will add that back into our mix a little bit after. I'd love to know, is anybody making puddings using the Thermomix? Are you using your Varoma as well? That's another question, because we are going to cook these tonight using the Varoma. All right, so on to our next step. So I'm just adding in my butterfly whisk. So if you're not sure how to insert your butterfly, making sure that it goes on the high side of the blunt blade. That way you have less movement and your butterfly will stay in place. All right, so now we are adding in the rest of our ingredients for the pudding. So in with our butter, and then also our sugar as well. Okay, then we're just going to mix that for 10 seconds on speed 4.
While that's mixing, we had friends for dinner last night, and Mark made gluten-free sticky date pudding. So it used almonds instead. And I think it had meal, but we just blitzed in almonds and made almond meal instead.
That's a very good option for a gluten-free option. There is also a recipe on Cookie Doo for a gluten-free sticky date pudding, and I'm pretty sure that's what it uses as well.
Yeah,
I've made it a few times. It's very yum. All right,
yeah.
Just scraping down the sides, and I'm just mixing that for another minute on speed 2.5.
Awesome. While Angie is doing that, I just wanted to quickly mention about our Earn For program. So as I did mention at the start, we do have Earn For at the moment. And if you would like to find out more about what the business looks like, then please stay on at the end because we'll be running a business information session. Totally obligation free. It is just an information session. Ultimately, Earn For means that you can come on board, pay a small and work your way towards earning. Once you've sold your 4 Thermomixes in your first 60 days, then that deposit will be refunded to you and you'll start earning normal commission. If you have any questions, please reach out. I know if you'll come on as an Earn consultant, and we have plenty of wealth of knowledge in the group, but please also stay on at the end to get a little bit more information about that as well. Where are you at, Ange?
Yeah, almost done. 5 seconds.
All right.
All right. All right, so while that is, we're going to turn our speed selector to 30 seconds and onto speed 4. And at the same time that's going, we're going to just pop our egg in the hole as it's mixing. And I think I just put a bit of shave in there as well. So a little bit of extra protein to go along with it.
At least we don't have to eat that. That's all yours.
Somebody will find it on the bottom of their pudding, probably.
Extra crunch.
Yeah.
You might see that Ange is using her black Thermomix, her sparkling black. She also earned that as a so another perk. With most of us have multiple Thermomixes, but we have most of us have earned them.
All right, so I've just removed our butterfly whisk and I'm just adding in our self-raising flour and going to add in the reserve date mixture as well. And then we're just adding in a 1/4 teaspoon of vanilla as well. So again, vanilla, I make vanilla bean paste in my Thermomix. This is not made in the Thermomix, but it's also a great way to avoid any additives and preservatives in what you're buying as well. All this is a bottle of vodka, and all I'm doing is putting in my vanilla beans into my vodka. So I have 2 of these bottles going at any one time. And I just rotate them. So once this one's empty, I'll move on to my next one, and then I will just fill this one back up with more vodka and just keep turning it upside down to get that vanilla flavour through. Just a little tip there for you. And then we're just going to pop that on for 5 seconds on speed 4.
Has anyone made their own pantry black essence or extract or bean paste, even things like their own brown sugar or self-raising flour? I know that Ange makes a lot of those pantry staples as well.
All right, so that is our date mixture. There is a little bit of flour left around the edge of the bowl, but I just scrape that in and sort of fold that in with the spatula. Then I need to put it back on to go again. So what will happen next with these is I will pop these into our Dariol molds. So these are the silicone Dariol molds from the mix shop. All I've done is just grease them with a little bit of butter. That'll just help the puddings come out a little bit easier later on. But there is a lot of other things that you can use in your Varoma as well. So I'll just quickly run through these as well. So these are silicone pudding things also from the mix shop as well. So this one's designed to sit in your tray on top. Sorry, I've got myself in a bit of a muddle here. And this one, it goes in the big basket underneath. So you can cook up to 13 puddings at a time using these ones. These are also very handy little things for your Varoma as well. So this is a little trivet. So you can pop your food on top of that. What that does is just aerate more food, allows more steam to get up underneath. And this one here is a little tray that you can put on in your Varoma. So you can use that for steaming your chicken or your fish so that the juices don't run down if you're cooking something underneath.
Awesome. Thanks, Ange. All of those are available from our mix shop. So jump onto the and have And don't forget to put your consultant down at the checkout.
Yep.
We go back to Eliza now and see that she's making some bread for us. Where are you, Eliza? There you go.
Hey everyone. I am going to make a bread recipe that a customer actually recommended from the recipe community. So I've saved that onto my cookie dough. Now I'm going to put the mix in. I'll show you how to shape a couple of rolls from the dough I have had proving in my Varoma, and then I will come back and knead it when I finish talking to you so the noise isn't so loud. So first of all, we will go to my recipes on my machine, my created recipes. I do have a couple of versions of this on here because I'm playing around. I've got one that I'm adding sourdough mix to, but I'm just going to do the original recipe today. So even your created recipes that you have from other people, you can just tweak them to exactly what you want as well. So we're going to start cooking. Now the screen looks a little different because it's an imported recipe. We want to start cooking. This is a really easy one. We literally put everything in and knead it for 10 minutes. Now I'm going to hit this here because everything goes in. It just says to follow the instructions of order. So I'm going to pop my salt in for a start. Then I have my baker's flour here. I've also done this with a wholemeal flour and it works just as well with that as well. I just found it so far the softest bread and it keeps for the longest out of all of the recipes that I've tried.
We've just started making our own bread, and since having the sensor, I was having a lot of trouble with my bread until I used the sensor. It is a temperature probe that sits in the meat. Are you using yours tonight?
Yes, I will. Although I haven't actually used it for rolls before, but I always use it for my loaves.
Awesome. I just said meat, but that's because it goes in meat cakes. And so, yeah, Eliza will show you all about that when she makes her bread.
Popping some yeast in there as well. Now, I tend to use bread improver. I'm not sure other people that bake bread if they do or not, but I tend to use that.
I was using apple cider vinegar and it was really dense. So that was what I was told was the replacement, but I switched to using the bread improver and it's much better.
Oh, there you go. Because I've heard that you could use that, but I never actually tried it.
Yeah, but I had apple cider vinegar here, so I tried it and it was as good as the bread improver. I suppose it has a name for a reason.
Yes, it did. It's a good backup.
Yeah.
We're going in with 40 grams of olive oil. Now it says you can use butter, ghee or olive oil. I haven't found, to me, it didn't make a huge difference. I've tried all three. And then popping in our water. There we go. So I'm actually, you wouldn't usually leave that sit there for a minute, but I am going to while I shape a couple of these rolls to show you. So this is some dough I made, sorry, a little while earlier. I've had it proving in my Varoma on fermentation mode. I'm not sure who's tried that, but that is really good depending, especially when the weather's a bit cooler. I find that I'm a bit spoiled. I have a drying cupboard, so I tend to pop it in the drying cupboard. But when I'm in front of here and I'm doing everything here, I just thought that I would use my Varoma instead. And quite often if I'm doing something like that, my Varoma is, or my Thermomixes are busy doing other things as well. They're not very often not busy on a weekend. So
that is a great tip with the Thermomix. If your Thermomix is busy, another way that you can prove dough is to heat thermo server. Thermo servers can be picked up as host rewards. So you can pop some boiling water in your thermo server, tip it out, and then put your dough mat into your thermo server. The humidity in that thermo server will help to keep your dough.
And if you do make a lot of bread and you don't have a bread mat, they are definitely worth picking up. Mine gets used for all sorts of things. Making pasta, making gnocchi, the kids use it for Play-Doh. Anything that has to be rolled.
They're really good for sushi too. We use ours for
Yes.
sushi.
Yeah. But there's not much that they're not handy for.
Even just keeping the bench clean. Just don't cut on.
That's it. So basically with my rolls, I make it into a bit of a disc. We bring all the edges in. So we trap some air in there.
Eliza,
Yeah.
can you bring that a bit closer to the camera?
Oh, yep.
Just your
Alright.
hands. Yeah.
So into a bit of a disc. Bringing all our edges in. So we trap some air in the middle. I'm fairly sure that's why you do it anyhow, from what I've been told. And then just give it a roll on your mat. And then you should end up with nice fluffy big rolls. And I'm going to actually bake them in my Fura today. I haven't made rolls since I've got my Fura, so that is a good time to test it out.
How did you get your Fura, Eliza?
I earned my Fura along with most of my Thermomix bits and pieces. It's
Yep.
one very big perk of consulting. And
I that the thermo servers are available as host rewards and the mats as well, but they are also in your business kit when you come on board Earn. So you will get all of those goodies for a great discount.
And there's probably one thing ever that I've earned as a consultant that I haven't used.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they've all been a huge, well, when you can use them all and look at, I've never got anything that I haven't been really happy with the quality of. So even if people don't own a Thermomix, if you're after anything to go in your kitchen, generally the quality is really good. So you know you're going to have it for a long time.
Eliza, did you oil your Fura?
No.
Yeah, just put it straight in.
Sorry?
You just putting the rolls straight in without like any.
Yeah, I haven't put anything underneath. I don't tend to when I put them on a baking tray either.
Yeah.
So sometimes I'll use baking paper if I am making there's something like a cheese and bacon roll, just because I don't want the,
Clean it.
and
Yeah.
I usually, but when I do them straight onto a tray, I don't tend to, yeah,
Awesome.
I guess I will find out.
Thanks, Eliza. We'll let you go and rolling your bread rolls and get that dough kneading, and we will jump over to Lou, who is going to make a delicious drink for us. Where are you, Lou? Are you? There you are.
Hello. Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Hello, everybody. So tonight I'm going to make a nice little cocktail, a wintry one. I've been sitting here thinking I should have gone first because it would have been a great little time pass. Anyway, so we're making an Amarula coffee. However, I am going to use Frangelico liquor, so you can change it up like, to whatever sort of liquor you've got in the cupboard. You can even leave it out and probably just pop in a bit more coffee if you like. So the garnish on top of the cocktail, so anyone that makes cocktails know the garnish is super important, is just cream and cocoa powder. So we're going to whip some cream first while we do the cocktail. So I'm going to whip cream in one of the thermos. So when you're whipping cream, the whipping time can depend a lot on the fat content of the cream, how cold the cream is, how cold it is in the room. So usually I'll just put it on 3.5 on the speed, in between 3.5 and 4, and usually around 40 to 60 seconds. So also when you're popping the butterfly in, it's really good if you do put it to the left side of the highest blade. That's the ideal position for the, right, that's the ideal position for your little butterfly. And the butterfly, I always say, is like your little KitchenAid in a stick, which is great. So we're just going to measure out the cream that we need. About 200 grams. And I'm just going to dial up 45 seconds just so I don't overdo it while I'm doing the next recipe. Okay. So our cocktail, so we're going to start cooking that one. So first up, we're going to add a little bit of Frangelico, around 60 grams. We're also going to pop in a little bit of milk. So that's 250 grams of the milk. And next, a little bit of brown sugar. So we got 2 tablespoons. You can add a little bit more sugar if you like. And 100 grams of coffee. So I've just used instant coffee. You can use espresso coffee, and you can even in Safeway now get the cold pressed coffee, which would be really good in there as well.
Well, go online and don't miss out.
So that's set off on 2 minutes and 30 seconds. It's heating to 70 degrees, so it is a warm cocktail. And then obviously you've got the really nice cold cream on top, and it's going at speed 3. The cream over here just needs a little bit longer, so I'm just going to give it another.
While Lou's doing that, I'd love it if you could let us know what was the last thing that you whipped, whether that be by hand or with the Thermomix, and if you didn't use a Thermomix. Oh, look at that.
There's our whipped cream as well. So it's just 200 grams, like a cup of cream, but super quick and easy. We've got 1 minute left on that. So while that's cooking, I'm just going to quickly talk about as well the TM31 trade up. So for anybody online that's got a TM31 currently at the moment, we won't see it on our socials, but we can talk to our customers about it, that we have the deal of all deals to try and get our TM31 customers upgraded to the TM6. So it's it's basically getting $300 off your Thermomix, and you are able to keep your TM31 machine rather than sending it back to the company. So you get to keep your TM31, you get your TM6 at $2,199, I believe. And at the moment as well, you get a cutter with that deal as well. So it's really the deal of the century at the moment as well. Is that right, Em? Were you about to?
Yeah, no, I was just saying it's absolutely insane. It's great. Crazy not to. You get to keep your TM31, which is everyone's workhorse, and get the TM6.
Yeah, and they're throwing in the cutter as well while stocks last on that one. So if you do have a TM31 and this deal sounds like something that you would like to do, get in touch with one of your consultants. And we've got 4 seconds left. So I'm just serving this in one of the little double glassed coffee cups. Hey. Oh, so this looks so good. I don't know, it sort of looks like an espresso martini with all the bubbles going on in there.
Does look good. I don't like coffee, but it looks good.
We've got that, and we're going to put a little garnish of our cream on top. This is super healthy, just for
It's
super delicious. And for what you pay for cocktails out at the moment, you know, upwards of $24.
crazy.
A little bit of a bargain. Whenever I'm doing just a tiny little sprinkle of icing sugar or cocoa powder, I just use one of the little tea strainers as my sieve, just to give it a little garnish with the cocoa powder on top. So we can just do,
Look at you all fancy.
oh no, I just don't like dishes. And that's it.
Oh, cheers.
Everybody.
Cheers. Thank you so much. That looks awesome. Enjoy that.
I will. Am I allowed to drink it while I watch?
Absolutely. Crazy not to. Perks of working from home, working around kids.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Love it. Thanks, guys.
Thanks. We are going to go back to who's next. Oh, I think it's actually me. I have a video to share. It is a video of a slow cooked dish that I made yesterday. Obviously, I couldn't make it live with you guys tonight. Bear with me because tech is not my thing, but I'm going to see if I can share my screen. Let's see. So there may not be sound. I'm hoping that I can speak over it. Again, tech is not my, doesn't work, we'll just stop, but let's try this. I don't need to share sound. No, okay. Let's see how this goes. Give me a thumbs up or let me know if you can see this and hear me. Can you see that? Ange, I can see you.
We can see it.
Okay, all right, let me see if I can walk you through. So this was a created recipe that I made. I have uploaded it onto my Thermomix in my created recipes. I might just see if I can make it a little bit bigger. That made a difference for you guys? Kind of, not really. Okay, so going into my week, into my recipes and into my created recipes. Looks a little bit different on the screen as the ladies have shown you, but in with the garlic and the onion and chopping that for 3 seconds on speed 5. Once that is chopped, we're just scraping that down and adding a little bit of olive oil, cooking that off for 3 minutes at 120 degrees. And then we are adding in our meat, falling all over the place. That's just gravy beef from Aldi, a little bit of water, and these are ingredients that I choose to add as my gravy. So I have some gravy powder. We tend to use that one because it is gluten-free. We've got some mustard, some Dijon, some mustard, whole grain mustard as well, Dijon mustard, tomato paste. Little trick with your tomato paste, keep it upside down in your fridge and it will last forever. And we've got some stock paste there as well. Jumping back out of the recipe and sliding over to our modes and popping it onto our slow cook function. I reduced the time of this to 5.5 hours and I increased the temperature to 98 degrees. That was it cooked. I drained the juices, popped the meat back in, and I'm just going to pause that because that went really fast. So drained some of the juices, added the beef or left the beef in there, and then popped it on for 5 seconds, reverse 4.5, and then that shredded the meat for us. Once it was shredded, we added a little bit more gravy back in it to make it to the consistency that we liked and served it with some coleslaw, and that was also done in the cutter, and a baked potato. That recipe.
Did you use the blade cover for that in?
No, not for that one. Oh, actually, maybe I did. Yeah, I think I did. I don't know. Maybe not. I can't tell. I can't remember. This photo is actually from earlier yesterday. I finished making it and then I realized that I didn't take a photo of it because our friends were here for dinner. So this photo is from earlier. But that is super quick and easy. I have uploaded that recipe onto Cookie with the created collection. So I will also include that with the email that I send after tonight's class. Let's go back to Ange. How are you going? Where are you at?
Yeah, my puddings still have 13 minutes, but I can chat about the changes that are happening with Cookie at the moment as well. So if you are currently on a Cookie 3.0 subscription or 2.0 even, as from tomorrow, that price tag for Cookie will be increasing to $89 per year. So if you currently have a Cookie subscription, we are highly recommending that you jump on and make sure that your account is set up for automatic renewal. So what that means is that you need to connect a card to your account. so that when your subscription comes due for renewal, it will automatically tick over. If you're doing that, you will continue to pay the current price that you are currently paying right now, and you will avoid that $20 increase. If you don't have a card connected to your Cookie-Doo account, when your subscription is due, it will increase by that $20 and it will become $89 per year. So if you need assistance with that, please reach out to your consultant or one of us. We are more than happy to help you through that. But it is super important. We don't want you to be paying more than what you're already paying. So if you would like to continue using your Cookie-Doo subscription at that $69, please jump on tonight before midnight and make sure that that is set up correctly.
Thanks, Ange.
No
We do
worries.
have a Cookie-Doo workshop happening at the, so I said 20th of August at the start. So I will include the link for that when I send the email as well. If you are struggling with Cookie-Doo and feeling like you're not really getting much out of it, then please jump on. Even if you feel like you're using it enough or that you feel pretty okay with it, please jump on anyway, because I'm sure that there are questions that you may not have thought of or that other people might have. Jump on and find out a thing or two, because I think it is definitely worth your time. I've done one a month for the last 2 months, and the customers that have jumped on have really got a lot out of it. So it's worth jumping on. You are paying for the subscription. You may as well make the most out of it. Thanks, Ange. We're
Yes.
Uh,
at Santana. How's your soup going?
Yes, I'm good. Have been waiting to take everyone through where I'm at. So happy to go for a little bit.
Yeah.
So that cooked for 20 minutes. I haven't actually had a look at where we're at with that, but nice and warm. So the next step, I was about to say, it hasn't actually moved around as much as I thought it would, but that's all right. Still hot. Next step is just going to tear that, just adding a little bit of cream. Cream for that, and where are we? Insert measuring cup. All right. I was going to say, I thought I had to add salt, but not yet. All right, so 1 minute, we're just going to increase the speed. So we're going to start at speed 5, which is where the indicator takes us. Always make sure you're reading the words down the bottom of this. You probably won't be able to read it on the screen now, but it just says turn speed selector from speed 5, then increase speed gradually to speed 9. So that will be an important step in creating this recipe to make sure that it's nice and smooth. So I will just start that.
Thanks, Santana. While she is doing that, I'm just going to quickly talk to you about the blend function. So this is blending in her Thermomix at the moment. You can cook a soup however you like and use the Thermomix to just use the Thermomix as your blender. So there has been times where I have had a full big roast pumpkin, or full pumpkin. I've taken out the middle bit with all the pips and stuff, added some garlic, some onions, some herbs and spices and whatever else in the middle, roasted that in the oven for a little while, and then taken it out of the oven, scooped it all out, popped it into the Thermomix with a little bit of stock and some water, and then used the Thermomix to blend it. So those functions on the second page of your Thermomix are super handy for using your machine manually. You don't have to be stuck with these recipes. As we've shown you tonight, we have used guided recipes and we have also created our own, but you also have the functions to just do whatever you like. You don't have to be using recipes. She's still blending that. Blend function, I'll just keep going about blend function because I could talk about anything all day. Blend function is really good for things like paste, so tandoori paste, veggie stock paste, chicken paste, any kind of paste. And it's also really good for things like smoothies as well. So you can chuck whatever you want in and turn it on to blending. Delicious.
I always forget to mute or unmute myself. There we go. So it's pretty thick.
Yum. It's very
Yeah.
Can't wait to see it served up and garnished.
I'll just quickly pour it in now. So there we go, guys.
Awesome. That looks so good.
Bit easier to see it. And my really sad excuse for some wilted garnish.
That's
There you
okay. Do a crack pepper or something on top.
Yeah, I was about to say.
I tend to make my soups a little bit thicker, and then when you freeze them and defrost, I just add a little bit of water and stir that through. So that looks delicious. Thanks, Santana. Don't eat
Pleasure.
that. Need to take a photo before you share it.
Yeah, I just put some cream on, but I feel like the cream, that was a fail.
Lou, did you take a photo of your drink too? We need a photo of that before.
Oh, it made two, so that's okay. One's half done, but the others.
Awesome. Where are we at? Eliza, where are you at? Let's jump over to you and see what you're up to. Oh, you're muted. Hang on, let me.
Sorry, I have my one lot of rolls doing their second proof here in the Fura.
Awesome.
And then my other dough is proving in the Varoma using our fermentation mode.
Awesome. So you've got a second too.
And oh, sorry.
You've got a second Thermomix too. Lots of
Yes. And then these ones actually go into a cold oven.
yeah, and do another proof.
Yeah.
Awesome. And where are you at? Let me just find you again.
So my puddings have still got 6 minutes to go. I can show you a little sneak peek if you want.
Yeah, let's.
Hang on, I'll just take my.
Oh, they look delicious.
So
Awesome.
still got 6 minutes. The other day when I made them, I did them for 25 minutes and I found them just a little bit soft when I tipped them out. So they were still cooked through the middle, but I think that extra 5 minutes will just make them that little bit more firm and easier to tip out of the mold.
Alrighty. Well, while that's still cooking, what I might do is jump over to Cookidoo and show you guys a few little hints and tips on finding some winter warming recipes. So let me share my screen. Again, tech is not my thing, so this could be a challenge, but we'll give it a shot. Where are we? My dog has just, yeah, he's tapping his little toes around everywhere. Here we go. So this is Cookidoo. Can you screen? And can you pop your thumbs up or something? Let me know.
Yep.
Awesome. Cool. So this is Cookidoo. Those of you that don't have a Thermomix, this is our recipe platform that has over 100,000 recipes on there. If you're using the English filters and only speak English, then you'll have access to about 12,000 recipes. A little bit like Google for recipes, you can type in, maybe it's an ingredient, it might be carrot, maybe it is a recipe. So it might be carrot cake. So it's going to take its time because we're doing lots of things at once. Well, you can see the carrot cake there too. So you can search by a ingredient, you can search by a recipe, you can also search by a function. So maybe you want to slow cook something in Thermomix. I've done too many O's. So you can type in slow cook and all of the recipes that contain the slow cooking function will pop up in there as well. A little tip for you as well, when you come into here, if you click into the articles, there are some articles in here that show you or talk to you about how you can use your slow cooking function. So all the modes. So you can click into here and it will go through that mode for you. We also have collections of recipes. So sticking with the slow cook keyword, if we look at collections, we've got some that have the blade cover, some TM5 blade cover, and a few different recipes in here. So you can go into those recipes and save that whole collection. You can just click on save there. If there's a specific recipe that you like, you can bookmark that. I can attest to this pulled pork burger. You can bookmark it. Mine's already bookmarked. Or I can add it to a collection. So I might like to make my own collection of slow recipes. Don't already have one. So I can create a collection in here. It might be winter dishes. It might be slow cook dishes. It can be whatever I want it to be. And then I can find that by coming into my recipes and then having a look in here. I've got winter dishes here. I've got a few different things in here. And we'll go through more of this when we do our cookie do session as well. When you are searching, you might like to look for a winter dish. So you could just type in the word winter. You can probably see my husband sneaking into the pantry behind me. He's stealing all the snacks, I'm sure. So I have just typed in winter, and we have 4,000 with the English filter on. So there's some soups, there's some stews, there's a whole heap of different dishes in here. There's pizza dough, butter chicken, veggie stock paste seems to be a staple in most winter dishes. So that is kind of your flavoring. Instead of using liquid stock or a consommé, you would use that and some water instead. Heaps of yummy dishes in here, apple crumble cake. So there's sweet and savory in here, but let me know if you need any more help with searching for something. If you're wanting to upload your own recipe, then please also reach out, because we can go through that with you as well. I'll just show you what a created recipe looks like on here. So I'll go into my potato bake recipe cooked. I haven't uploaded a photo because I have only just cooked it. It does look slightly different on here to what it does on the Thermomix. But when you come into recipe, you can see you've got your ingredients on the left, prep on the right, which is much the same as a normal recipe. But you'll see that some of our words and some of our functions or steps are in bold. This means that when you click on it on the Thermomix, it will come up highlighted, and you can access blades, or it will preset your time, your temperature, and your speed on your screen for you. So you don't worry about doing it. It will preset it for you. When they are added in bold, it just means that only those ingredients will pop up with your scales for that step, rather than all of the ingredients for the whole recipe. You can add in any hints and tips with these recipes, and you also have the ability to edit your own, edit some of the recipes that are on here. So maybe it is a pizza dough recipe. I'll just quickly type in pizza. Let's just go with the quiche. So maybe you want to make the quiche Lorraine, but maybe you want to add in, I don't know, let's go with, let's add this to my created recipes. I'm not buying Gruyere cheese because that is way too expensive. So I'm going to change that to Parmesan. So you can come into these recipes that are already on Cookie Do and you can edit them. So I'm going to change that to Parmesan cheese. I'm also going to change the creme fraiche to sour cream because I'm not fancy. And that will automatically update that recipe. I can then save that, and that'll go into my recipes and into my created recipes. And for me, I tend to kind of just wing things with my Thermomix, but my husband really needs things by the book. So if he was to read that recipe, he wouldn't think, I mean, he would, but Gruyere cheese, he would just chuck in any cheese. But if I've got it written down specifically that we're using Parmesan instead of Tasty or whatever, then it's down, it's easy. It's also really easy for the kids too to see exactly what's happening. I did see that there was a question that popped up. I'm just going to stop my share and read the chat box. So if you have doubled up on recipes and saved ones, can you delete one of them? Yes, you can. I'll just share again and show you how you do that. Let me know when you can see my screen. I think you should be able to see it now. So I've just added each recipe in. It's not something that we, because my kids are dairy, egg, and gluten-free, so definitely out of here. But I can just click on delete recipe and it will take it out of my week, out of my created recipes. But you have up to 100 recipes that you can load into there. And like I said, you can either add your own, you can also import from the community, which I'll show you when I go my Cookie Do session on the 20th of August. And then you can also create your own. Yeah, there's plenty of options for created recipes as well. You're not just stuck with what's on Cookie Do. What did Kylie say? I just saw that pop up too. I don't have, where did that go? Kylie, I don't have articles when I type in Slowbook. I can only see recipes and collections. Is it because I use phone and iPad? No, you should be able to. Let me check when I finish my phone, Kylie, and I will let you know. Where are you at, Ange? Are you all good?
I've just finished.
Oh, that looks so good. You need some of Luke's,
Really, really yummy.
you
Yep.
need some cream.
Yes. I don't know. Yeah, I've got some cream there. I normally have it with ice cream, but I've got no ice cream left. So,
Oh, bugger.
yep.
So good.
That's right. That's dinner.
I'm going to grab my potato bake now that it has cooled down a little bit and bring that over here.
I have the loaf of bread to show you too that I made earlier.
Oh, awesome. Thanks, Eliza. So this is the potato bake. It smells delicious. It's a shame I've already had dinner because I reckon I could eat that whole thing now. But again, that's in our Fira wear. So we have a few different.
Can't see you, Em.
Sorry.
Spotlight myself. Hang on. Let me. Spotlight. You see me now?
Yes.
Yep.
My neighbours like potato bake, do they? Well, you know where I am. The Fira ware comes in 3 different sizes. So this is like our lasagna tray. We have a round Dutch oven, and we also have it's like a deeper one of this. It's a Dutch oven. So if you would like to get your hands on these are also consultant perks. We have earned all of these. So if you are interested in getting some, then please reach out. They are available in the mix shop. They're beautiful, but they are really heavy. So I'm going to put that down. I only did 6 potatoes, 6 baby ones. I probably could have done more. Don't know if there'll be enough for the neighbours, but we'll see. Whereabouts are you, Eliza? I'm going to jump back over to you and you can show us your loaf of bread.
So this is the loaf from the same recipe that I'm using to make the rolls. This one I did add some sourdough starter to. So other than that, but you can see the size, it's a pretty big loaf, and it's perfect. I find it keeps really well 3 or 4 days and it's still quite soft as long as I keep it in. I have this bread bag. I don't think you can get these on the mix shop anymore. I'm not sure.
Not at the
but
moment, usually in health food shops.
Yeah, so I know you can get it in the health food shop in Leongatha, but I don't know if bread bags vary very much, but I find that keeps the bread much, much better. Yeah.
Thanks, Eliza. Oh, what happened? I've just turned my light off. They do also have, there we go. The mix shop also has a bread box, so the tin that you can pop it into as well. Thank you, Eliza. Well, that is everyone's dishes shared, I think. I'm going to spotlight myself again and say a thank you and wrap up. So we will take some photos of our dishes and share them in the email as well. Jump online and follow us on socials because we will also share them on there. If you make anything that we have, or anything that we've made tonight, then please feel free to jump on socials and tag us in that dish as well. If you are a host tonight, can you please reach out to your consultant for the QR code if they haven't already sent it to you, and remember to fill that out so that your host can get, and your guests can get their host rewards tonight. It is a really fun way of learning more about your Thermomix, but also reaping the rewards by having a demonstration. We have the cutter available as a host reward. It is also available as a gift with purchase when you buy your Thermomix. If you're wanting more information about our Earn program, please stay online and I will run through our business information. We also have, what else have I got written on my notes? Our pizza class is our next class. That will be a face-to-face class here in Daleston. That is on Friday, the 9th of August. It is at 7:30 p.m. and there are tickets for that available that I will send through in the email. We also have a class that will be advertised. Spring has sprung. That will be in September at some stage. We will organise that and get that information out to you guys as soon as we can. But thank you so much for joining us tonight. We hope you have learned a thing or two. Like I said, if you'd like more information about joining the business or just finding out a little bit more, then please stay on and I will run an information session. Otherwise, thank you for joining us and have a lovely night.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, everybody.
Just going to stop recording.